Hey, what's up? Welcome back to this new video. This one is paper 2-2 of October-November 2022. Of course, with that being said, let's move on to questions. Here we have question number 1. So, Hala travels from London to Marseille by train. So, from London, so we have London here. And she's trying to go to Marseille. M-A-R right here. Now, she must change trains in Paris. So basically, from London, we have to first go to Paris and then go to Marseille. That's the idea for her journey. Now, the journey from London to Paris takes 2 hours. So 2 hours and 28. And from Paris to Marseille takes 3 hours and 30. Okay. Now, the local time in Marseille and in Paris, which is this one in France, right, is 1 hour ahead. So we have to really grasp that. It is ahead of the time in London. Okay, part 1. Now we have to complete the timetable for Hala's journey. Now, the local time here in London and in Paris. So if she arrived in Paris at 16, so she arrived at 16:50, we do know that the time taken to arrive will be is 2 hours and 28. So we have to first minus that. Right? That will give me what? 50 minus 28, that should be. So 4 here. That will be 10. That will be 2. It's just simple subtraction. So 4 will be 22. And then here we have 16, that will be 14. Now, this is the time in Paris. Now we understand the time in Paris is 1 hour ahead. So the time in London will have to be 1 hour back. So 14, that will become 13 actually, 22. Okay, that will be the time in London when they leave. Now, what is the time in Marseille? So pretty easy. So here we know that the time taken will be 3 hours, so 3 hours and 30. That will be 1. That will be 6, so it becomes 0. That become 1 here, because what do we know? We know 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. That's why we have to add 1 over here. Now that will become 19 plus 1 is 20. 20 plus 3 is 23. So she will arrive at 23:01. Okay, this is the local time in Marseille. Question part 1. Now let's move on to part 2 of your question. So we have to work out how long Hala waits in Paris before the train to Marseille departs. Okay, so pretty easy. As you can see, she arrived in Paris at this time and leaves Paris at this time. So she has to wait. That'll be 19:31 minus 16:50. That'll be 1, obviously. That'll be 8, and that'll be 6. 10 minutes. So 6 minus 5 is 1. 1 plus 4 is 3 is 4, sorry. And then here we have what? We have 18 minus 16. That will be 2. 2 hours and 41 minutes. Now let's move on to this question. This is the exchange rates. Let's see what happens for that one. So here we have the exchange rate between dollars and pounds is given to you by this. So $1 is 0.75 pounds. Okay. Now, the exchange between dollars and euros is, we don't know. $1 is that much euro. Okay. So we know Hala changes 250 pounds into euros. Okay. Now, obviously, from here we can conclude what? We can conclude this much pounds is equal to this much euros, right? If you replace by substitution, this is equal to this. I can put this here. We get this. This is okay. This is not necessary. I'm just writing this so we can actually observe something from the two values. Now, it tells you that if you changes pounds to euros, she receives 290. Okay, so basically, how can we find the value of R? This is obviously 3 marks, right? So let's use our brain. All right. So again, we can use calculator here, not a big deal. So we have what we have. We change that much, 250. We get 290, right? So we're trying to find R. R is 1, pound is 0.75. So let's one by one. Let's first find what is pound. 1 pound. 1 pound will be euro divided by 250. You agree? Right? Now to find 0.75 pounds, we have to take 290 divided by 250 times 0.75. Because we know 1 is that much, this will be multiplied by that much. So that will give you what? So 290 divided by 250 times, that will be 0.87. And by comparison, obviously, this is equal to R. This is equal to 0.870 corrected to SF. That will be your value of R for part B. Now let's move on to question part C. We have Joseph books a holiday for 3 people. Okay, we have 3 people. The holiday costs $4.20 per person. So from here we can understand that 1 person costs that much, 3 people cost 3 times this, right? So 3, 420, that will be $12.60 for 3 people. Now, Joseph pays a deposit of 20%. So how much is that? 20%? 20 over 100 times $12.60 times 0.2. That will be 252. That's the amount that he left. Question, calculate the amount he deposited. That will be $252.004. Now let's move on to part 2. Joseph pays a total of $85.68 for the airport for 8 days. Okay, 8 days. Now from here, I can think of, okay, if 8 days cost that much, so what is 1 day? You would say 85.68 divided by 8. That will be 1071. Again, I don't know the question yet, but I'm just trying to think, okay, what can be asked, right? Now, this price includes a reduction of 15% of the full price for early booking. Find the full price for 1 day. Okay, so pretty simple. So we do understand that this is 1 day, obviously. The price after reduction is, so after reduction, after discount, was 1071, right? Now the price, full price, we don't know. Let's call this X, we don't know, right? So all the time, we always consider the initial price as 100%. So we do know that from here to go to here, he received a discount of 15%. So 100 minus 15, that will be 85%. So we can solve this using ratio. Now what do I mean? I mean, if I look closely, I can say that 85% represents 1071. Now 1% represents what? You would say, to make 85 become 1, I have to divide by 85 on both sides. You'll have 1071 divided by 85. So 1% is 0.126. Right. Now I'm trying to find the initial price, which is at 100%. So using ratio, if 1% is that much, so 100% will be what? 0.126 times 100. That will be 1260 for the price of this ticket. So full price, 1260. Correct to 2 decimal place, $4. And that is your question number 1 for this paper. So let's move on to question number 2. So here we have Marco grows 2 types of tomato plants. We have type A and type B, so 2 types. He counts the number of tomatoes growing on each plant. The results for type A is shown right here. So how do you read this? So you can read this. So 17 plant. So number of tomatoes on the plant. So sorry, 5 plants gave 17 tomatoes. 2 plants gave 18 tomatoes. Okay, so one question we can ask is how many plants he looked in total. So 5 plus this, this whole thing, right? So 5 plus 2 plus 7 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. So the number of plants he looked at will be 20. This is the total number of plants he looked at. Now part 1, we have to find the mean number of tomatoes per plant. How do you find mean? Mean is total number of, we have to find out the total number of tomatoes and then divide by the number of tomato plants. So you can see tomatoes per plant. So tomatoes on top, plant at the bottom. Total number of tomatoes on top, total number of plant at the bottom. So one by one. So 17 times 5, that'll give me 85. 18 times 2, 36. 19 times 7, that will be 133. That will be 60. That will be 42. That will be 22, right? We have to find the sum, obviously. 85 plus 36 plus 133 plus 60 plus 42 plus 22. That will be 378. This is the total number of tomatoes that we have from this experiment. Now divide by the total number of plant to give you the mean number of tomatoes per plant. That will be 18.9. 18.9 will be your answer for part 1 of your question. Now let's move on to part 2, the range. What is the range for this one? So let's find out. As we can see, the range is definitely defined as the max minus the minimum. So 20 is a max number of tomatoes minus 17. Sorry, 22, not 20. 22 is a max. So 22 minus 17. That should be 5 as your range. Okay. Now let's move on to part 3 of your question. What do we have over here? The mean number of tomatoes per plant for type B is 17.1. So by comparison, the mean for type A was given to you by 18, was found to be 18.9. The number, right? And the range is 8. So the range of the range of A was found to be just 5. Okay, so now we have those values we have to compare. So make 2 comments comparing the number of tomatoes growing on type A and type B. So you can say, comparing the mean, you can say that on average, as you can see, the mean is average. We get more tomatoes on plant type A than plant type B. That makes sense, right? By comparing the mean. Now, by comparing the range is definitely a measure of spread. You can say that type B, because the range is wider, is 8 compared to 5, you can say that the variation or the spread for the number of tomatoes is larger for type B. Type B, or you can say spread for number of tomatoes is larger. So what does that mean? It means that we get more varieties. It varies more in the number of tomatoes produced as compared to type A. you're more likely to get less tomatoes as well as more likely to get more tomatoes from type B. You can write that as well. It will also work for your answer. More likely, less likely. The spread, the variation is larger for type B. Again, you just have to compare those values. That's what it means, right? Comparing the mean and comparing the range. Now it's up to you. You can always interpret those values as you wish for, but compare those two. That's the main idea behind this. Now let's move on to part B of your question. Marco also grows strawberries. He records the masses M of 120 of his strawberries. So now we do know that we have 120 strawberries, so in total here will be 120. We have to use these values to draw a cumulative frequency diagram. Okay, so let's do that. So again, whenever it comes down to cumulative, as you can see, cumulate, we always have to add things up. Cumulate, adding things up, right? So first thing first, here we can write when M is less than 5. What is the frequency? As you can see, M between 5 and 10 is 15, but less than 5 we have nothing. You agree? Cool. When M is less or equal to 10, we have 15, right? When M is less or equal to, so this is 10, 15. When M is less or equal to 15, we have everything on this side, 15 plus this. That'll be 53. Now, M is less or equal to 20. Everything on the left, so plus 45. We have to accumulate, add things up. That'll be 98. Now we have to have what? Less than 25. So we have to add 17. That'll be 115. And M mass will be less than 30. 30, add everything else to the left. That will give you and have to give you 120, because we do know that it has 120 in total. So that's how we confirm it is okay. Now after having these, we can actually draw our cumulative frequency graph. So one by one, 5, 0. So 5, 0 will be right here. And then we have 10, 15. So 10, 15 will be right here. Then right here, right? 15. Then we have 15, 53. Right here. Then we have 20, 98. 98 will be right here. Then we have 25, 115 right here. And then finally we have 30, 120. Should be right here. Again, you will be using a pencil to draw this, obviously, because if you draw something wrong, you can always correct. Pencil is the way to go. Now I'll try my best to join the points with a smooth curve. Okay, let's try my best. So as for me, I'll try to join this. Here you go. It shows to be something like this. Hopefully I do this good enough so we have good answers. Again, as you can see, the point is to make this smooth like that. I mean, it's okay, it's not too bad. Okay, so now from this, Marco uses strawberries with mass when the mass is more than 21 to make jam. Use a diagram to estimate the percentage of strawberries he uses to make jam. So more than 21. So mass 21 will be, well, if this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 21 will be right here, right? So let's find out. 21 should be me. Of course, you have to draw this line because they need to know how you find your values. Right, so that will correspond, that will cut my curve at this point right here. Right, it will cut my curve right here. As I can see, 21 corresponds to the value of what? This is 102. Now we do understand it has to be more than this, so everything above 102. So 120 minus 102, that should be what? So 120 minus 102, it is 18. We can always check. 18. But the answer is to find the percentage, so obviously take 18 over the total number of strawberries times 100. That will be 15. So 15% will be your answer for part 2 of your question. And that is your question number 2. So let's move on to question number 3. So here we have a cuboid, has height h, as you can see, and has a square base of x times x. Good to know. The volume is given to you by 60 centimeter cubes. Now, how do you find the volume of a cuboid? Volume will be length times width times the height. That will be x squared h is equal to 60 according to the question, right? Now, we have to show the surface area is given to you by this. Now, how would you find the surface area? So let's see. Surface area A, we first count. We know we have one face, 2 in the back, 3 and 4. So 4 times this one. This is x times height. So hx plus 2 times this one at the bottom and top, right? 2 times x, that will be x squared. So here we have 4x times h. Now what is h? We can make h become subject here, so h will be 60 divided by x squared, right? Makes sense? That will be 60 divided by x squared plus 2x squared. Simplify. This and this will cancel out. You will have 240 over x plus 2x squared. Now let's simplify. That will be 2x squared plus 240 divided by x squared. Now let's move on to part B of your question. So now we have this formula right here where you're using this to fill out this table. When x is equal to 5, what is the value of a? So replace in the equation. You will have 2 times 5 squared, so 25, plus 240 divided by 5. That will be 98. 6. 2 times 36 plus 240 divided by 6. That will be 112. Okay, so now we have the table done. Let's move on to the next question, which is part C. Now, okay, we have to actually plot the graph. So use the table, the values here to plot the graph. So one by one, we have the point x is equal to 1, which is a 241. 242 actually, 242, 42. So now we have to find out something first. So if this whole thing here is so from 0 we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 square is 20. So 1 square is 4. So that's something we have to know so that we don't mess up the plots, right? So first thing first. The first point is 1 and 242. So 242, that will be 220, 240. That will be 244. 242 will be right in the middle. And then we have 128. So 128 should be 120, 124, 128 right here. 398, 98, 98. That should be 80, 84, right? So 80, 84, 88, 92, and then 96, and then 100. So 96 will be here, 98 will be right here, right? Hopefully that makes sense. Then we have number 4, 492, 92. This is 4 here. This is 80, 84, 88, 92 right here. 5 will be 98 again, so 5 will be back to 98 right here. And then we have 6, 112. 112 will be where? From here we have 100. That will be 04, 08, and 012. So we have to increment by 4, right? Because we know 1 square is 4. So have to increase by 4 every time. Now 7 will be 132. 132 will be, this is 120. This is 140, right? 140. So 1 36, 132. And last one, 8, 158. 158, this is 160. 150 will be right in the middle, right here. As you can see, this is the points that I got. We have to join them again by using a pencil as smoothly as we can. Okay, try your best. Alright, let's see. To see what I get. So again, I'm just trying to join them with a smooth curve. Hopefully I do a good job. But you have to try your best using a pencil. So joining these points like this. Of course, mine is not perfect at all, but you get the idea. It is okay. So these are the points joined by a smooth curve. Now, what else? So we have to find the minimum possible surface area of the cuboid. So we have to use the graph to find that. Again, area, the minimum will be on the graph. So as you can see, according to my graph, the minimum shows to be about here. The area shows to be right here, which is, from my graph, it shows to be about what value? 84, 88. 88 according to my graph. Now moving on, for part E of your question, the cuboid has surface area 120. Okay, 120, where A is equal to 120. Now, the height of the cuboid, the height is more than the length of the edge. So something we have to know here to solve the question. Now we have to find the dimensions, so one by one. So if it's 120, let's use the graph. 120 is right here. Right, so 120, this is 120. Let's see where it cuts the graph, right? So it cuts the graph over here and over here. Let's find their corresponding values. Right here and right here. Now we have to recall from part 1, height is equal to 60 over x squared. So let's write this down. Height is equal to 60 divided by x squared. Now for this 120, I have the value of x as here, 2.2. X can be 2.2, or x can be, the value here is what? It is 6.3, according to my graph, obviously. Now we have to choose which one is correct. So when x is equal to this value, what is the value of h? Replace back in your equation. 60 divided by 2.2 square, that should be 12.4 corrected to SF, and here we have what? 60 divided by 6.3 square, that should be 1.51. As you can see, the height has to be more than x, so this is not possible. So this one will be a value that we need. So it will be x by x, so 2.2 by 2.2. Of course, let's write this corrected to SF, and then we have by 12.4 centimeters. And that is your question number 3. So now let's move on to question number 4. So here we have a set question. This is the universal set is any integer between the value of 10 to 40, inclusive of 10 and 40 as well. P is a multiple of 6. So we can try and list down the values for P. That would be 6. 6 times 1, 6 times 2, 6 times 3, 6 times 4, 6 times 5, times 6, 6 times 7. But as you can see, these two values will be outside, so we only have these ones, right? And then for Q, square number, as you can see, square number we know is 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 40, 49. As you can see, this is outside and this will be outside as well. So only these values and these values will be inside these two sets. Now what else? What else can we do? So we have to write down the elements of P union Q. So P union Q will be what? So we have, let's begin with this one. We have 12. Then we have 16. 18, 24, 25, 30, 36. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. So that will be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what are we missing here? We are missing something. 12, 16, 18, 24. Okay, no, we're not missing because these are the same, so it's fine. It will be just one time. This is part 1 of your question. Now, what else? Here we have to find the number of elements in P prime intersecting Q. First, we can try to list down what are these elements. Now, we know Q is only a few elements, which is 16, 25, and 36. Now, P prime is everything outside of P. As you can see, obviously, outside of P, we don't have 16. That will be one of them. We don't have 25. That will be one of them. So where they intersect, obviously. 36. So we have 36. So you will not be here. So we only have these two. Number of elements, that will be just 2. Right? Again, this is just done by observation. It's only 1 mark. Not a big deal. Now for part B, we have to use set notations to describe this one. So also pretty easy. It is D union C, and these two, what happened? Intersecting B prime. Everything outside of B. So first we take D and C, both together. As you can see, we do not include B, so B prime, intersecting B prime will be outside of B. We will only have resulting this one. That will be part B of your question. Now let's move on to part C of the question. Alright, so in a college we have students who can study French, Spanish, and Arabic. So French, Spanish, and Arabic. Now, a group of 25 students, so everything will be 25. A group of 25, we know the sum is 25, are asked to in which language to study. So we have these results for now. Now, all students, so we have to understand this, all the students who study both Arabic and Spanish also study French. So everyone who studies what? Arabic and Spanish. So N is also important. So Arabic and Spanish will be this set. Also studies French. So that, you know, anyone who is in this set has to be right here, because we cannot just have someone studying Arabic and English but not French. It's not possible. So everyone who studies these two have to be here. So this will have to be 0 according to that information, right? Now what's next? 7, only French. So only French will be right here. 7 is only French. And then 8 studies Arabic. So A will be 8. So everything here should be 8. So 8 minus 5, that should be 3. Now we have to complete. Obviously, we know everything together will be 25. So we take 25 minus 7, minus 4, minus 1, minus 5, minus 3, minus 2. Remaining will be 3. 3 will be right here. And that will be part 1 of your question. Now for part 2, what do we have? So we have 2 of the 25. So 2 of 25 are to be selected at random. Now, we have to find the chance that they both study Spanish. So what is the number of Spanish only? According to the Venn diagram, Spanish only is 5. So we only have 5 people who study only Spanish. So we have 2. So the first one will be chosen with a chance of 5 over 25, because we will have 25 people. Now once we take him away, remaining will be 4 over 24, obviously, right? First pick, second pick. That will be 1 over 30 as your answer in its simplified form. That will be part 2, now part 3. Let's see what do we have. So 3 of the students are selected from at random as well, from those who study French. what is the number who study French? According to my graph, French is 7 plus 3 plus 1 plus 4. That should be 15, but let's check. Yeah, that is 15. So French will be 15. Right. Now we have to find the chance that only one of them also studies Arabic. Okay. Now we have to find the chance only one of them, so one of these one, right, studies Arabic. Now as you can see from here, so here we have what? We have French, Arabic. So only Arabic will be what? Will be 4, right? Okay, let me explain again. We have French people over here. This group represent French and English, right? This group represent French and Arabic. Now, only one of them studies Arabic. So, what does it mean? It means that from the people who, we take 3 people from this group, right? So, it could be Arabic, not Arabic, not Arabic, right? Or it could be not Arabic, Arabic, and not Arabic, right? We have a few ways of playing with this. Not Arabic, and Arabic, if that makes sense. Basically, there's like 3 ways we can play with those, right? Those are the 3 possibilities. So exactly one of them. So let's see. For the first option, if he studies Arabic, so only one of them, from the 15 people, Arabic will be, how many studies Arabic? You can see 4 plus 1, right? It will be 5 people. So 5 over 15. Not Arabic will be the rest. Obviously, will be what? Will be, except from the 5, will be 10 over 14. Not will be 9 over 13. Or it will be not Arabic. Not Arabic is the 10 over here, right? 10. 15. Arabic will be from the 5. So okay, let me write this down. Number of people who studies French and Arabic. And Arabic. It is given to you by 5. As you can see, French and Arabic is 5. 4 plus 1. Number of people who does not study Arabic, given that they study French, right? It will be 7 plus 3. That will be 10. Okay, just to make our life easier, this is where we're getting our values. Again, we're using the Venn diagram here to find those values. Nothing is magic. So not will be 5 over, Arabic will 5 over 14, and then 9 over 13. And finally, here we have A prime, which is not Arabic, which is again 10 over 15. Not Arabic, 9 over 14, and then we have 5 over 13, which is Arabic, 5 over 13. So we have these combinations for exactly only one of them studies Arabic. That'll be 5 over 15 times 10 over 14, and then 9 over 13 times 3. That should be 45 over 91. Okay, and that will be your question number 4. Now let's move on to question number 5. A bag contains X 5-cent coins, okay, and Y 10-cent coins. So we have 5 cents and 10 cents. We have X 5 cents and Y 10 cents, right? There's a total number of 130 coins in the bag. So pretty easy. So write down an equation in terms of X and Y for the total number of coins. So total number of coins, it is 130. We have X10, X 5-cent coins plus Y 10-cent coin equal to 130. So pretty simple. This is part 1. Given to you by the question itself, right? Now for part 2, the total value of the coins is that much dollars. Okay? So now we have to write an equation as well in terms of X and Y that give me that value. Now, we understand that. How do you write 5 cents? right? That will be 0.05 in terms of, dollars, times x plus 10 cents, 0.10. Y has to give you 8.15. That makes any sense. That will be the second equation. Now we have to solve these two to find the number of 5-cent coins and 10-cent coins. So we have to find the x and y by solving these two equations, right? So one by one. So let's make x become subject here. X is equal to 130 minus y. Good. Now replace x back in this equation. We have 0.05 times x. 130 minus y plus 0.10y equal to 8.15. So simplify. 0.05 times 130. That will be 6.5. 6.5 minus 0.05y plus 0.10y equal to 8.15. So minus this plus this will become plus 0.05y. We can always check. Minus 0.05 plus 0.1. As you can see, 0.05 is equal to this minus this. We'll send this over here, right? So that become 8.15 minus 6.5. That will be 1.65. So y will be 1.65 divided by 0.05. That should be 33. So y is equal to 10-cent coins is 33. Now what is x? X will be 130 minus 33. That will be 97 for the value of x. Okay, and this is the value that we have to find for question part 3. Now for part B, a machine makes 5-cent coins. Okay, it makes 720 coins per minute. 1 minute. The machine operates 24 hours per day. So 24 hours per day. 1 hour is 60 minutes. So we times 60. That will be how many minutes per day? That will be 144 per day. Minutes. Now it makes 720 coins per 1 minute. Now in this much minutes, how many coins you make? So pretty easy, times 720. You will make 1,036,800 coins in a day. As you can see, we have deduced this step by step. Nothing complicated, right? Now, calculate the total value in dollars of the coins made by the machine in 300 days. So, obviously, in 1 day, it made that many coins. Alright, this is 1 day. Now 300 times will be times 300, obviously. And for the value of 1 coin, it is 5 cents. That will be 0.055 cents. And we have to multiply and see what's up. So answer times 300 times 0.05. That will be 15552,000. So let's double check. That will be 1,036,800 times 300 times 0.05. Yep, that will be that much. That is 15,552,000. Now we have to give you answer in standard form, correct, to 3SF. Standard form. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That will be 1.56 times 10 power 7. So obviously 3SF, leave the first 3 by itself, as if this one is equal to or more than 5, the answer is yes. So we have to add 1, so 155 plus 1 will be 156, and the rest will be in standard form. Now let's move on to part C of your question. The diameter of a 5-cent coin is 21.2 mm, correct, to the nearest 0.1 mm, okay? And the diameter of the 10-cent coin is 17.9. I hope the first half of the video was somewhat helpful. If you guys would love to access the full video, feel free to click on the Patreon link on the main page. Or otherwise, you can go to the description below and click on this link to access the Patreon page for the full video. With that being said, good luck and thank you for watching.